Attention party people! You're officially invited to the Party Shop at Michael's, where you'll find hundreds of new items starting at 99 cents with an expanded selection of party wear, balloons, with helium included on select styles, decorations, and more. Michael's is your one-stop shop for celebrating everything from birthdays to bachelorette parties and baby showers to golden anniversaries. Visit Michael's in-store or michaels.com today to supply your next party.
Hi guys, welcome to this week's episode of Heavy Metal Tones. With me, your podcast host, Tony Evans. This is number 2, I believe, in our spooky season episodes of October 2025, getting ready for the Halloween special I have planned on the 31st as well. Now, this one is an interview with the absolute first true, I would say, heavy metal vampire of them all, with James Rivera from Helstar, the classic band from the early 80s right through to now, who's had its ups and downs, but he really truly is the vampire of metal, I'd like to say. He likes to call himself that as well. It was a fascinating interview I had with him. We had some technological problems, so you'll find that some of it's, I'm trying my best, it is a little bit where it becomes disjointed. I will be editing around it as best I can, so please do bear with me, but stay with me because the conversation is fantastic. About 16 or so minutes in, there will be a break because that's where his internet went dead and we have to come back to it. So we'll probably put an advert in there, more likely. Anyway, I hope you enjoy it. This is James Rivera from the amazing American metal band Helstar with their new album Devil's Masquerade. We all know him. We all know him and them from the band from the album Nosferatu, I'm sure. If those that don't will have probably seen the imagery somewhere. Anyway, this is a brilliant return to form for the band. He's extremely excited by it. All based around horror movie themes, horror movies like Annabelle, The Exorcist Pope, and things like that. We didn't really talk about that, actually. We didn't get round to it because it was just too much enjoyment of chat. You know what I mean? Anyway, enough of me wobbling on. Here is the warbling on. Here is the chat with James Rivera from Helstar. Enjoy.
Well, thank you for being patient.
Oh, it's okay.
By the way, I was told that you promised that you had a Joey waiting for me when we come to Australia.
Yeah, we do. Yep.
Okay, good.
Yep. I've got one of my pals.
And they
right
like
now.
carrots, don't they?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they bounce down the streets. That's what they do, right?
I've always wanted to hold one of those things, but I heard that when they get bigger, they can kick the shit out of you.
Oh yeah, a full-grown Eastern red grey will kill you quite easily.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean they get to about 7.5 foot on when they raise up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when they kick you, it's like Bruce Lee hitting you in the throat.
Yeah,
so,
splitting your stomach open. That's basically what they do. Anyway,
yeah.
Well, thanks for coming and chatting. What a
yeah.
I've been a big fan of Helstar for many years. So, thank you for coming and chatting to us.
Oh, you're welcome, man. And thank you for being a fan for many years.
Many years. I think
many moons ago is what my dad used to say.
Yeah, many moons ago. My dad would say the same thing. Yeah, I mean you've been around forever and a day. I can't believe that the first album was way back in 84.
1984. Yeah, the Japanese bomb Pearl Harbor. We were there.
Yeah. Burning Star, great album, really out there, really on point for the time. I always thought, it's right in the zeitgeist of 84.
Well, it was at the right timing. The scene was erupting all over the world at that point, and we just happened to deliver a record that sounded like Judas Priest meets Iron Maiden meets Angel Witch, and
the tribute.
The UK loved us, and we got signed, and the next thing you know, the rest is history.
Well, yeah, gosh, I was looking at your back catalogue, and I went back to listen to a lot of them again because I thought I hadn't gone back to Remnants of War or Distant Thunder for a little while, and oh gosh, you really were in that sort of golden era, weren't you?
Yeah.
84 to 89. Like Nosferatu is my favorite album of yours.
Oh,
Mm.
well,
But
that's the one that started the whole everything about me
yes.
adopting the name Vampiro.
Look, it's my favorite horror movie of all time. So when you have an
Yeah,
album named Nosferatu, it's going to hit me in the right spot.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's a beautiful piece of music. It's a very well structured concept.
Well, we actually the proper words that we called it was a heavy metal opera.
Yeah.
And and to me, if we had the right management or the right people behind us, you know how TSO started their Christmas thing every year,
Mm.
that we're eligible to do this for Halloween every year all over the
Yeah.
world. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, why not?
Yeah.
People would love it. Like, we have to go to the whatever we could call it at the time, but the Halloween Helstar show, because TSO is all sabotage, and
Yeah.
it's Christmas. It's Christmas, but we do Halloween instead, and I think that it would be. I think it would be well accepted everywhere because now everybody's comfortable with the fact that vampires are not all this darkness and evil. They're just a story that will live on forever and ever and ever. And we just happen to do it cleverly in our music. The music, along with the vocal melodies, it goes along with it, and I think people would be amazed.
Yeah, I think so too. It's very daring for its time.
Yeah,
Judas Priest did a similar thing with their version of when they did Nostradamus, and it
yeah,
absolutely flopped.
yeah, it did.
I love
Well,
that
and
album. I really love that album, by the way, as well.
it was around the same time.
Yeah.
Well, you have to understand 1989, metal was going downhill, and it was time to put on a flannel shirt, shoot some heroin, and not take a bath.
Oh God,
And
yes. Oh, don't remind me.
and you know what? This may sound mean, but I'm glad that 90% of that scene is literally dead.
No, no. It's so true in such a more.
Yeah,
You can't be more. You couldn't be more true in a truism with that one because
yeah.
it's the antithesis of music. I love punk. Don't get me wrong. I'm a real big sort of energy of punk. I absolutely love.
Oh, I love real punk.
Yeah, but that stuff
But
wasn't.
no,
That was just really miserable.
it was, and well, the scene was called grunge,
Mm,
and I hate my life, and I hate everybody around it, and I want to
mm,
kill myself and just inject heroin and look like I haven't taken a bath in a fucking year,
mm.
and wear a flannel shirt and army boots and just talk about shit and sing like Popeye. It was kind of it
There is
was, yeah, yeah. That
what a
whole
description. Oh my God, that's a great
yeah.
description.
Yeah, Oliver let me down. I'm gonna shoot heroin and kill myself. She's screwing fucking what's his name?
Yeah,
Brutus now, finally.
yeah,
Yeah. So, but yeah, because you remember he used to fight with Brutus all the
all the
time.
time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now blow me down. It's like, oh, and you said, oh, you want Olive Oil to give you a blowjob. Wow, that was weird.
But you know what the great thing is? You know the great thing is that bands like them have gone, right? Gone. Yes, they have their place, people remember them, but they're
Of
not
course,
making
and I
music.
love
They're
God.
not, yeah, like
Yeah,
Hellstar has huge history and will keep going.
yeah. And we're still stronger than we ever been in our lives, and the new record proves it. And so that's living proof about what is real, I guess, monumental music, and what is just, yeah, let me just fit in with the times. Because I remember back in those days, a lot of the local metal bands here that decided to jump aboard that bandwagon. And the next time I saw them, I was like, oh, where'd the beard come from and the flannel shirt and the heroin needle sticking out of your arm. That's pretty weird.
Yeah.
When you used to be in leather and stuff like that, and like, and it was weird because like, well, I got to get with the times, and I'm like, well, forget the times, man. What's in your soul is what you need to pay attention
Oh,
to.
look, and it happened with. I mean, I don't know if you like. I don't like hair metal at all. There's nothing for me whatsoever. That whole scene over there that happened, and it's the same thing. It was everyone suddenly started bleaching their hair blonde and wearing makeup and running around, and it was like
Oh, you're talking about the we call it the boots and spurs scene and the whole glam thing.
that's
That
it, the
that
glam thing, hair metal.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah. It just it sort of I don't mind trendsetters. I don't mind people following a tribe. That's no problem. But it's when it's when they don't have any back it up. Like you back it up with your albums. This new one is a classic example. You know,
Thank you.
and I love listening to this new one, and that's why we're talking about this new album for the interview.
You know what?
Devil's
You're not the
Masquerade.
only one. And you know what? It makes us feel so grateful that everybody loves this new record. They're just like, holy crap. They really went over the edge with this one. Yeah, it took them 9 years, but there was a lot of reasons why.
Mm.
It wasn't because we were wearing flannel shirts and doing heroin.
No,
It was
no,
because we
bloody
we
COVID,
went
you know.
through a member change. The label was going through a lot of stuff,
Mm.
and the record was actually delivered to them a year and a half ago.
Oh,
But
really?
and you stay loyal to the people that believe in you and they want you to get out there and still do it, and they want to promote you. And look at
Yeah.
these interviews we're getting left and right. Um, I knew that Massacre was going to crawl out of the situation they were going through, but you have to be patient, and then of course with every album, we're the kind of band that we always we always feel that every album we've ever done is always better than the last one we did. And
Good.
it's like, okay, this is the best record we ever did. How are we going to top this? And then you have to be very careful, and you're walking on eggshells to write the next album very cleverly, but still in the vein of 98% Helstar with a little bit of experiments going on here.
Mm.
And that's usually what the problem is with us. We're just one of those bands that just we're not going to just spit out a record every year. So it sounds like the same record all the time,
Yes.
if that makes sense.
Yes, absolutely. No, you have to have. I think that's the beauty of again bands like yourself is that you know this. Don't get me wrong. There are times for bands like AC/DC where you just get the same thing all the time, and there's
But
a place for that.
that's their tradition.
Yeah,
See, a band like ACDC and Iron Maiden, that's what they do, and that's what they need to keep doing. Once they steer out of that column, then people don't like them anymore.
I know
But
that's
they're the
me.
only.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't understand that personally as a music lover. I love hearing little bits of different, experimentation in
Right.
my music because you don't want to eat the same meal every day,
But
same drink.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'll take another Big Mac deal.
Yeah, that's it. Just
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
inject
Are
it in
you
my
sure you don't want to
veins.
try the chicken nuggets? Nah, I'll stick to the Big Mac deal.
Yeah, that's it. It's all I'm having. It's very much a meat and potatoes thing, as people say, right?
Yeah.
I I like because like yourself, I'm sure you come back from a background of lots of musical influence, right?
Oh
So
gosh.
everywhere, which way but loose, blues,
Yeah.
jazz, rock,
It
everything
all
is in there.
started with the Beatles for me. So
There
I
we
mean,
go.
I'm totally big Beatles fan, and then I mean, and then of course all the '70s movement, and Alice
Mm,
Cooper was my first real hard rock metal hero.
yeah.
That led to Blue Oyster Cult, Black Sabbath,
Ah,
Jethro Tull. I
I
mean,
love Toll. Oh, love Toll.
yeah, I'm decades old. Come on, you know that. So, I mean, and then I'm into symphony. I'm into opera. I'm into all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's you'll never know what you're gonna listen to when you get in my car. It'll change constantly. Yeah.
I love that because that means that when we put on an album like this Devil's Masquerade, yes, it has the DNA of the first albums
Yeah.
because it really does, but it also has a spirit of 2025 in there a bit as well.
Exactly.
Mm.
Wow, I never heard it that way. You need to text me that because that's a great expression.
Yeah, it's the truth though, because it's like you put it on and you listen to say like Stygian Miracles, for instance,
Oh, yeah.
which is my favorite on the album,
Okay.
right? And you put it on, and it does feel like it could be on Nosferatu, right?
Yep,
Quite
it
quite
does.
quite easily. But then you move on to something like Seek Out Your Sins, which is the one with all the is that the one with all the extra singers on? That's the
Oh no, that's I Am the Way.
I Am the Way. Sorry,
Yeah.
yes. But Seek Out Your Sin, though, Seek Out Your Sins feels very on point for now.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just, it's hard to explain how we come up with this stuff between me and Larry. We just have that gift.
Mm.
Um we just know how to we know what the fans expect, but we also know that we shouldn't put boundaries on what we want to experience, if that makes sense. Like,
No,
hey,
no,
let's,
absolutely agree with
yeah.
you. Absolutely agree with you. I
So
think,
we work very hard together when we're writing these songs. We really put a lot of thought. We go back and forth on the phone and like, dude, but what about that line? And I'm like, yeah, well, that line bothers me too. And I think that we should change the words to this and the melody should do this. He goes, dude, I was thinking the same thing. Get over here and let's re-record it. I'm like, all right, I'll be there tomorrow.
so that's because
Yeah.
you have a sync capacity with each other. You have this union of time that
Yeah.
does it.
S-
You know.
Says the Japanese bomb blow arbor.
Yes,
Jeez,
since the Druids were at Stonehenge, right?
yeah, exactly. No, 43 years exactly.
Wow,
That's amazing,
that's amazing. And to think that I was looking again, thinking back at your albums and going, wow, what a wonderful career you've had. You know, such a varied, albums. So you're very lucky, man. You're very lucky to have Burning Star, Remnants of War, Distant Thunder, and then Nosferatu all in back to back.
Yeah, that was the beginning. And then a big break. And then we did that one album called Multiples of Black, where I lost all the original members. And
Yes.
I had great musicians. The problem was is that we got gypped on the budget, and the production was horrible. But the songs are not really that bad. But it still doesn't stand up to anything we did once we got reunited and released. Well, we of course we did Sins of the Past just to kind of bring out the old songs again,
Mm.
kind of give them the flavor of what the new Hellstar would be like. Not the new Hellstar, but the revived Hellstar.
Well, that's the end of part one, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, girls and ghouls, monsters and vampires, all the creatures of the night. This is will be following into the second part. Now, I had to put a break in, as I said at the beginning, because the internet had problems, and so there's a slight disjointment of the conversation. But I'm sure you're going to get onto the gist of it on the other side. Anyway, see you on the other side of the adverts. Bye for now.
Attention party people! You're officially invited to the Party Shop at Michael's, where you'll find hundreds of new items starting at 99 cents with an expanded selection of party wear, balloons, with helium included on select styles, decorations, and more. Michael's is your one-stop shop for celebrating everything from birthdays to bachelorette parties and baby showers to golden anniversaries. Visit Michael's in-store or michaels.com today to supply your next party.
Tony, and now
Gotcha.
you can actually see me.
Hey, now I can.
Yeah, so that's what something went wrong with this internet crap, that's what
That's
I'm
right.
telling
Let me
you.
press record and I've got it
Machines are
going.
trying to take over our lives, and yet we kept it simple. I could have got on the phone with you
Yeah.
and got a calling card and said, "Hey, let's do this."
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, it was good to see you as well. Like,
I'm just very anti technology. And what's really weird is that, Larry and Mikey and a lot of, musicians I know, they're all IT guys. And they're like, dude, you still have an iPhone 7? I'm
oh, I
like,
love my iPhone
what's
7. I'm
wrong
looking
with
for one of
that?
those
They're
again.
like, oh, I have the 16. I'm like, well, you know what, dude? I don't give a fuck about contacting the moon and all that shit. All I want to do is call people, text people, and get on the internet. That's it,
I had the same
Yeah, I don't
conversation
care
with my
about the
brother only
pictures being
yesterday.
enhanced or anything. Yeah. I don't want to make that phone like the major thing in my life. I
Nah,
still kind of do remember numbers.
yeah,
Like I do remember my sister's number, my brother's number. I do know remember Larry's number. I know people that are important. I still remember their number. But you'd be surprised how many people are like, "Oh shoot, my phone died. I don't know how to call him because I don't know the number."
yeah,
Like,
yeah. No, and I think it's worse for the elderly, to be honest with you, because
yeah.
they're getting reliant on these things, and then they can't hold that number. And my dear father was the same before he went. With his dementia, he couldn't remember a thing. Like, it would be
Oh,
good
I
to have
know.
him to have that. You know,
That sucks.
yeah.
I have a friend of mine that I play in I play in several projects, and I have this
Mm,
thing that I just rejoined again called Denim and Leather. Some
brilliant.
buddies of mine that I've known from the Pennsylvania area. And it's just a tribute to classic metal. So we do
Mm,
everything from Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Black Sabbath, Dio, Priest, all
yeah.
that stuff, Scorpions. Anyways, I stayed with him, and his dad has dementia.
Mm.
And the one thing that you can count on is you're going to eat a McDonald's egg McMuffin at least 4 times a day
Yeah.
because he loves them, and he goes and he gets them,
Bless
and he
him.
forgets that he went and got them, so he brings more. And
Oh,
then he goes again and he goes and gets more. And you're like, you know what, Mr. Baker, thank you. I have 5 in my room already.
bless him.
But
At least he's
it's
doing
funny,
it.
but it's not. You know what
No,
I
but
mean? And you're
it's
like,
sweet at the same time. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I guess I'll just take them home. I don't know what to do with all these, like, and he insists,
Oh,
hey, here's an egg McMuffin. I go, yes, sir, thank you. And you don't want to say, well, you brought me one an hour ago,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they're all piled up on your nightstand, yeah. Oh, geez.
Oh, but uh, I've got this image of you with a million piles of egg muffins now. Um,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Hey, I
So
might just start a restaurant and sell the rest of
yeah,
these, or get a food truck, yeah.
that's
Egg
right.
McMuffins, $1,
Dollar
yeah.
each. Yeah.
I
Buy
got
one get
30
one
of them.
free. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but the new album, as we said, Devil Boss came out in September, so a little while ago, about a couple of weeks ago now, not that long. And you're getting good reviews and good feedback. People loving it.
Nothing but 9 out of 10s, 10 out of 10s. Everybody's just loving the new record. They're flipping out on it. They're just like, wow, this is the best thing you guys have done I mean, seriously, like ever. And I'm like, well, I mean, me as the writer, I have to ask myself and ask them, well, what makes it that much better than anything we ever did? They go,
Mm.
it's, dude, I can't explain it. It's when you listen to this record from beginning to end, there's not one song that you want to push to the next track.
No, no,
And every
absolutely.
song is just as rich,
Yeah.
like, and it just gets better and better and better. And then when it's over real quick, you're like, oh, I gotta listen to it again. So I had
I
this
love
one
that though.
friend that said I listened to it 20 times in one day and I still ain't sick of it.
Yeah. No, and that is the magic of a great album, isn't it?
Yeah,
Is that it's not with you for too long, but you want to go, but you sort of you go, how did it go past so quickly? And then you've got to go back to it again.
yeah,
And I do that a lot. I sit in the darkened room with no noise, no light, so I can take the music in. Because I get distracted by, oh, look, shiny things, So I put on the dark room and put the album on, and it's over. It just covers you. It's such a good album in that way.
thank you. Well, what we kind of learned too, and I think this is also a lot of credit to Larry who produced it, mixed it, recorded it. So now that's it. We don't need to go anywhere else.
Mm.
It's all going to be him from here on out. and me. This is how we're going to produce our own records. We're
Cool.
gonna write our own stuff, and we're gonna make it to what people love.
Cool.
And we're gonna experiment a little more on the next one. Little things, not much.
No.
But he did, one thing he did say, it's like, dude, nowadays people don't want to listen to anything more than 40, 45 minutes. It gets old. But a couple of years back, you're like, oh, we have to do this hour and 70-minute record.
Yeah.
Then we got to put bonus tracks. And then, before you know it, you don't even know what song you like on that album anymore because there's so many of them.
Well, that's a CD issue, isn't it? Because with vinyl,
Yeah.
you're limited to the amount of space on A and B. And
Exactly.
obviously
You had
product
4
costs.
songs on each side. Boom.
Yeah.
End of story.
Yeah. But with CDs,
And everybody was
there
happy
the
with it.
volume up massive. So
Yeah.
the volume ceiling was terrible, but also then they could put on, oh, we've got all this. Why do we put 100 minutes on? Well, you don't need 100 minutes. Like,
No. Save them for the next record and the next one and the next one.
or put them out on 3 CDs or something. Don't
Yeah, right.
Mad. But that again, that's why, because you look at your tracks, they're not, they're not prog level lengths. You're not having 9, 12-minute tracks. They're
No.
good length tracks. But they're also thematically so connected.
Yeah.
Which is
I think the longest track we have is Carcass for a King, which is kind of reminiscence of the old Abarca days, right in his epic Ilaria and Everons and the Benediction and Winds of War and all that.
Yeah.
And ironically, Garrick wrote that song, another bass player. So I don't know what it is about these bass players, but they really want to get into, that I'm going to take this part and do that. I'm going to extend this. And, and it's beautiful.
Look,
Me and Larry just go, hey, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, solo section, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, out.
Done. Right.
Done. If you can't get your message out in 3 minutes, then I don't know what to say. But yeah,
I'm with you. There is a place for long noodly music. I love prog. There is a place for it. But when you put on an album by Helstar, you want to be taken on a fast journey, right?
Yes, exactly.
That's what you want to go on. You put a Helstar on, you know what you're putting on. You're not going into some 20-minute weird keyboard solo thing. You're going,
yeah, right, or or some, it's just strange that we've always had that chemistry to write songs to the point, and this is how it is. We're our attitude is, let's put Mike Tyson in the ring with Pee Wee Herman and let him knock the shit out of it.
Can you
One punch, he flies across the whole stadium,
with his ear missing.
Yeah, I think I won that round, huh? Yeah. Yeah, you actually killed him, poor guy. And he's still looking for his bicycle, but yeah.
Or his lawyers. That's again, see, talking to you, you have this fabulous sense of humor, which I think also comes across in your music. You take yourself seriously, but not too seriously.
Yeah, we try to, the thing is that we do. There's a point where you take it serious, but then there's a point where you let people know that you're human and that you're just down to earth. And to me, that's more important than anything in the world. And that's the biggest connection with your fans. There's words out there. They're like, oh, James Rivera is the biggest hugger and handshaker in the world. I mean, if you walk up to him, he'll be like, hey, well, who are you? And where are you from? And the next thing you know, you're having a glass of wine with him, and then he'll get your number and he'll text you and he'll be like, hey, man, next time you're in Houston, I'll see you again. Love you. Take care. Metal lives. We're a family,
Yeah.
And that's, to me, that's the most important thing in the world, is to connect with your fans. And and then your fans, for me, most of my fans become personal friends. And then I'm like, okay, so how much room do I have in the house? Yeah. All right, kitty cats, you're sleeping in the car tonight,
You get the doghouse.
Yeah, I got my buddy Tony from Australia coming to stay the night, so get out.
Look, I was so thrilled that that there was a new album coming, because it had been a little while between drinks. I wasn't sure what we were going to get, you know.
Yeah.
And then when we got what we got, it was like, wow, well worth the break and the wait.
Yeah.
Hopefully not another 9 years though.
No, because now we have all the political things taken care of with the label. We have the stamp of from here on out, which is what we should have did forever. Me and Larry will write 90% of the record. We are Helstar. Nobody disagrees. And whatever ideas you guys have, we'll listen to them and we will enjoy. I'm sure they're going to be worthwhile throwing in, like Garrick wrote that song. So it's not like we're being dominators of the whole thing, but we are in a sense, because what it does is it makes us get through everything quicker this way. When we know what Helstar fans want, that's what it comes down to.
That's right.
So I think that by the time this record the spark has died, we go to Europe and we do this, we do a couple of shows for another year, the fans aren't going to have to wait for 9 years. It'll probably be out by 2027.
Wow.
That's our goal. We're already writing now. So you see what I'm saying? Only a 2-year span of, another record, which is the way it used to be. But we don't want it to sound repetitive and boring. Like, oh, it's another The Devil's Masquerade for 5 more records. No. We're not going to do that.
No.
But we're going to take our time. And I think that now that we know the chemistry of what needs to be done and the way that me and Larry work magically together, we can whip out 30 songs in 2 years just like that.
Yeah.
And tasteful ones. Tasteful ones.
I don't think you're the kind of band, honestly, and artists that would put out something you weren't happy with. I mean, I know you said that the one in 95 you weren't overly, but everyone in that period of time, there was no one covering themselves in glory in the mid 90s, right?
Right.
And so, not really. So, lots of things happened in that period of time. So for me, I don't think you are going to put out stuff you wouldn't put your name to, because it's
no, and that's the thing, is that we are in our old age, we've gotten pickier. So we sit there and we listen to things. And then he's like, what do you think? I go, I don't know. I need to go home and sleep on it. He goes, well, you're not happy with that? And I'm like, oh, yeah, but again, we're talking about my vocals. Dude, I think everything sounds great. And I'm like, let me go home and sleep on it. Then I'll get up the next day and I'll listen to it again with fresh ears.
Yeah.
And then usually 90% of the time he's right. I'm like, you're right. I don't need to mess with this right now. It's fine the way it is, because if I go in there and start changing things, I'm going to mess up the vibe and the feeling that we had at the time. But then there's sometimes when I go like, but if you really listen to this line, Larry, I think I really should have did this. And then I'll sing it to him over the phone. He'll go, oh, dude, you're right. Yeah, we'll come back tomorrow and let's re-record that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah. So
collaboration.
You have to, you're a critic of your own self.
Oh God, yes.
And you have to be happy. Otherwise, you're going to regret for the rest of your life that something is out there, it's recorded, and it's done.
Yeah. It's one of the reasons I never became a very successful musician, because I don't think I could let anyone listen to my music. It's like, no, you can't.
Well, and you know what? It's a shame that, there's a couple of albums that I know there's songs that I cringe when I hear them. And I just, it's just the way it is. Like, I wish I had did this, or I wish I would have did that instead, But, I think that's the way it is with any artist. You're never happy with your own work.
No. But I also hope you don't go back and tweak it too much. I actually think there's a space there. Like, people go, there's a big fad at the moment for going back and completely re-recording or remixing all these albums that were made in a different era with different desks and different producers and different ears. You have ears of a 50-year-old is different to the ears of a 21-year-old, right?
Exactly.
And so when you go back there and mix it, all the people like myself. I mean, and then you go onto Spotify. Say you're using Spotify. Other streaming platforms are available, but you go on there. All you get is the remix options.
Yeah.
I want to hear. Say you were to
The original.
Yeah. Say you were to remix the first album. That's great, but they don't give you the first album to compare.
Yeah.
So you lose that sense of history. All we're doing is whitewashing our history musically.
And then these
Constantly
remasters and these remasters, like, well, what the, I have people that come to me to this day and go, "Oh, Burning Star is my favorite record." I'm like, God, that was a horrible record. Fucking production, everything, I mean, we were young. We didn't even know what we were doing. They go, "But dude, it's so raw, and it's the best Helstar record." I'm like,
to me, it is. I
I'm
think
like,
that was
wow.
raw too.
The songs were great, yeah, they were all hits. They were all anthems, kind of in a way, Toward the Unknown, Burning Star, Which Is I, Run with the Pack, of course, is our last song of the night, because it's our stairway to heaven, I guess,
Yeah. But it's like you can't, like, people often talk about Iron Maiden. They go back and say they want to redo the first album because the production was poor.
No,
I don't. It's a point where you shouldn't. It, great artists. I mean, I have privilege of having a good arts degree and being a painter, but I know what it's like to put a painting away and go, I can't touch it anymore. I touch it,
yeah.
I'm going to ruin it, and I have ruined things. And I've gone back to the paintings that I did 10 years ago to try and adjust them and completely ruin them.
Well, that's just part of being an artist. We're stubborn. We like, yeah, I can make it better. And then you really don't realize that the first choice you made for whether a painting or a song, and it was simple, was the best choice.
It was.
When you go back and listen to it or see it, and go,
oh no,
why did I add all that shit in this painting when it was badass? Why did I go add in all these extra harmonies on this song when the song was cool plain?
Yes.
It's just weird how we think that way, but
it's also,
and I think that's why this record came out so good, because we didn't overdo it.
That's it.
We did the right amount of things that we needed to do. I did some very operatic choir things I've never done before that would fit on a Sabotage record.
Yeah.
And cathedral stuff, and I'm very proud of that. But all it took was me just recording the vocals 20 times, and Larry just multiplied them. So like when you hear that part in Stygian Miracles is your favorite song, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Eat from my flesh. Yeah. And then it sounds like you're in a church,
It does.
Yeah.
Cavernous in that respect. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I never did stuff like that before. And I said, no, let's go a little further this time. And I did it on Seek Out Your Sins, kind of in a way. And I did that very, very gothic bridge. And I remember when I was recording it, Larry said, when I finished the first two lines, because we do like 2 lines at a time, just so that we know that they're right on target and it's the feeling I want. They're in the right key, the notes are right, and then we continue. Because there's no sense in doing it all and then go, oh, it all sucks, do it again. And he goes, dude, Messiah from Candlemass would be proud of you.
Oh, he's one of my
favorites. That's that part where
Messiah's a dude.
Yeah, exactly. And because I love gothic stuff anyways, And so there's things that I did that were a little different, and I'm just like, just little things like that.
And that's wonderful, because if you imagine that everyone has the album they find a band in, right? Every album has an album you go, I first listened to Black Sabbath because I got onto Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, or whatever, right? Everyone has one of their albums from a band. Right?
Yeah.
So imagine that Young Ears comes and gets this album, all right? And they go, right, okay, this is the band, right? I love this album. And they go back and listen to other things. In 30 years' time, you want them to come back and still go, this is my album. Devil's Masquerade. This is because look what they were doing. Look, it was so different. I love it. You don't want to tinker with it.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? This is the second interview I did, and the girl before you said the same thing. She said, what I love about this record is that every song is different, but
It is.
it doesn't stray away from what you what you're presenting. It stays within that realm of this is a Hellstar record, but
Yeah.
every song is exciting. It's not like, oh, this sound like the last song. This sound
No.
like the last song. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's not like that, you
No, it
know. And
flows
so
really well, and that's a difficult thing to do, putting an
yeah,
album out these days, because people listen to it in chunks instead of whole albums.
yeah,
So you've got to, unfortunately, that's the majority now, which is a sinful thing. But that that you've got to think they're going to grab chunks of it. How's it going to sound in chunks? But also, how's it going to sound in flow from A to B?
right, exactly.
Difficult task. I don't envy you on on that aspect.
Yeah, I mean, I
With
think
this
about
one,
it. Like every song is like it is different, and then you have an instrumental, which Hellstar's famous for that stuff because
yes,
my guitar players are killer, and I love showing them off. So I'm
yes,
one of the few singers that insist on an instrumental.
good. I
Yes,
love
I'm
it.
like, yeah,
It's
come
so
on,
old
show
school,
off your
but
shit, dude. I've been screaming all over this record. They know I can sing,
yeah.
you know. I mean, so but then, you end it with "I Am the Way," which is completely, like, way off in left field, and then all the guest singers and the
Classic
choirs on it.
track. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing, it's like, wow, and all the great Texas singers on it, and,
Yes.
we're
Yes.
all good friends. We've been friends since the beginning of time,
Oh,
and I just had this dream, and I said, I've always wanted to do a song where I can feature all our buddies that are still alive and doing this, but I want to represent Texas. Yeah, I am Texas proud. So
yeah,
I'm
and it
like, you
should
know
be.
what? I'm going to get
Yeah.
Jason, let me get Rob Lowe, Mike Solis, and and then, dude, all it took was one phone call. Dude, oh fuck yeah, I'm in, bro. Dude, are you kidding me? Oh man, I want to cry. Really? Like, yeah, man, let's do
Oh,
this, and shoot, they all did their parts, and God, it's a lot of people are saying it's their favorite song on the album, which is kind of, and the only sad thing about it is like, man, how are we ever going to do this live?
well, no,
Well,
that's another
maybe
thing.
Hell's
Yep.
Heroes or some kind
Yeah.
of festival,
How are you going to do it?
Yeah.
And I was thinking that myself. I think it's one of those ones where you'd have to sort of, I don't know, you're not going to use
We'd
the
have
Texas
to,
accent,
we'd
are
have
you?
to, well, what would
Yeah.
happen is we would have to get hired for one of those big festivals,
Yeah.
and we'd have to make it a demand that you have to fly everybody else in for this one song,
Yeah. Yeah. Why
and
not?
the
Yeah.
crowd would fucking love it.
Yeah. Of course they
Yeah,
would. Go and do Varkan or something, and then get them to
yeah,
do.
exactly. Yeah, like a festival that big could afford that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they can easily. You can
Call
only
it
get
the
a ticket.
Texas Metal Onslaught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But before we go, I do want to say that um, I've absolutely loved uh, you being in our musical lives. I really have. I appreciate it, and
Thank you.
there is something special when you can write an album like this that sort of rivals. And I can't say this, but Nosferatu for me, you know, is a special album,
Yeah, of
and
course. It's to everybody.
it is, and it's that it was. I'm so. It's lovely that bands like yourself had the balls to do it. Because it was at a time when people weren't doing
Things
that.
were already, like I said, the flannel shirts were moving in already.
Yeah.
Um,
So to be experimental and outside the box, and it's, an album that isn't going to be one of those ones where you could sell lots of singles from it.
no.
Is brave, and good art is brave though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It takes bravery to do good, to create.
Well, that was the part that made Larry leave the band. And pretty much the whole band disbanded in 1990. Well, no, Larry stayed around for a while, but
Yeah.
then he finally left too. And I carried the torch with a bunch of other guys that ended up with that 1995 Multiples of Black. And, we were still popular in Houston, so we kept playing. But that whole flame of what we were
Mm.
it was over. And then I finally disbanded the band for good for 2 years,
Yeah.
maybe three. I moved to California, joined a band over there, did a demo, and then the next thing you know, Metal Blades asking, "Hey, do you have anything like Helstar? Are you fucking kidding me? In 1993, you dropped me, and I lived with crack dealers, coke dealers. I went through all kinds of hell, and now you're asking. But then again, you're like, why? You want to offer me a deal?
Yeah, of course you do. You gotta live, man.
Well, that's how I ended up. My rebirth started with Destiny's End.
Yeah.
And that was the perfect first song called Rebirth, and it was called Breathe Keep the Dark.
Yes.
So my career started all over again. When that hit, we did 2 records, and then the interest started in 2001 or so. Hey, is any chance Helstar would get back together? We want to get you and Bang Your Head in Germany.
Brilliant.
I said, well, I have some members that I can put together. All right, let's do a Helstar show. And then the next thing you know, it started blowing up again.
Wonderful.
And then Destiny's End broke up anyways. And then time went on, and I guess then I joined Seven Witches, and I sang for Flotsam and Jetsam, and my name started blowing up, and I sang for Vicious Rumors, and before you knew it, we want the real Helstar back together.
Well, a great voice.
Larry and them they had retired, but they were playing in another band, and somehow miraculously, this guy put this show together, 20-year anniversary of Remnants of War, 2006. And we started it to just one show in San Antonio, Texas, sold out. And then the next thing you know, Houston wants a show. Then the next thing you know, these people want a show. Then the next thing you know, hey man, I got some ideas. And then the next thing you know, is Helstar going to get back together because we want to offer you a record deal? And we're like, wow, here we go again.
Rock and roll, man.
It's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the rest is history. And here we are since 2006 and 2025.
Yeah.
And Helstar is going stronger than it ever has.
Well, because you can't tie a great beast down, at the end of the day, you can't do it.
Well, they woke up a sleeping giant is what they did.
Yeah.
All that frustration that Larry probably felt in his sleep and before he went to bed at night, like, damn, I had to get out of the music business and I had to get a real job. And, I mean, we talk all the time and I get it. I mean, hey, he needed, he had a family. He's an IT guy now. He makes great money, but he loves playing. And he says,
he should. Yeah, he's good at it.
Next year, I'm going to retire. He said, start booking away, man. And I'm like, all right. What we need to do, and I don't understand why this hasn't happened. 2 countries that haven't had us play there yet is Australia and Japan.
I know.
And yet we meet fans that come to these when are you coming to Australia? When are you coming to Japan? I'm like, I don't understand why we haven't been offered that yet, but I would think that we have enough fans there that people would be like, my God, first time ever, Helstar in Australia.
I think off the back of this album, certainly, fresh.
That's what I'm thinking. I think this album is going to push us to that point where somebody's going to go, okay, I smelled the coffee. We need those Texas boys here. Yeah.
That's it.
And then my writer is going to say, well, I don't care what you feed me. I eat anything. But the only thing that you have to promise me is that when I get in my hotel room, there's a little Joey waiting for me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the way.
So I can hug him and hold him and everything. Right? Yeah. As long as his mother doesn't kick the shit out of me, yeah.
So that could be the case.
Yeah. All right, we'll have a Joey for you in your room. Yeah, I just want to hold him, yeah. They're cute. They're the cutest things in the world.
They're beautiful. And they are. They're very.
I don't like it when somebody says, "Oh, they're a giant rat." Bullshit.
No, they're not a giant rat. And the sad thing is, you see them on the side of the roads because they get hit by cars, and it's really sad, So but they're beautiful. And it was one of the reasons of moving made a good thing. When I moved to Australia all those years ago, it was like, yes, the best thing. So good.
So are they violent at all? Or no,
they're very placid. It's only
so you can actually pet them as long as you don't thrighten them, right?
Yeah. They were wild ones, probably you've got to be very careful with, but there are ones in zoos and in enclosures which will be used to humans.
Yeah, I was wondering about that because I really don't know what they're like. But a friend of mine, her sister married a guy in Australia, and she went to visit. She said that she got to pet a joey.
Yeah, you
And
do.
that they're very friendly.
Very friendly. They are indeed. The only things you stay away from in this country are the spiders and the snakes. All right, that's the only thing you stay away from.
Yeah.
Over here.
Yeah, man, it was a great interview. Thank you.
No,
yeah, so I hope we make it to Australia. I
Yeah.
mean, God, that would be amazing.
Yeah, it would. And
I think that you're right, though. This new record's probably going to push us to that limit where I think that we finally get some offers because so many of my colleagues have been there. Hyrax, Agent Steel.
Yeah.
And they're not that much bigger than us. I know Nevermore's been there before too, before World passed away. A lot of bands at our level have been to Australia.
Yeah.
But I think you only do like Melbourne and Sydney.
Well, you can do Melbourne, Sydney, Canberra is a great, where I am, the capital, good city for music.
Oh, okay.
So there's a lot of places to play. Yeah. It's a big country. So travel.
Well, of course. And a lot of it's a lot of wasteland too, which is cool.
Indeed. A lot of it is dead desert, but
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, Tony, thank you so much for the interview, and I hope that I get to see you over there someday, or somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere we'll catch up. Good luck with the album, the constant adulation you should be getting, and I hope that it does push you even more into the consciousness of people.
Thank you. Yep, everybody's loving it, and I appreciate your time and your support.
Yeah.
And I wish you the best for the rest of the year. If I don't talk to you, before the holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
And, you too. It's coming out
Happy Halloween first.
Yeah. I've got a grandchild on. It's due in Halloween around that time. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, so that'll be an interesting experience.
Now, if I was a real vampire, I could fly to Australia and I could come hang out with you and have lunch and get out of there.
Yeah, you could, couldn't you? You could just spirit yourself.
It'd be a midnight lunch.
Indeed. A liquid lunch, as my dad would say.
A liquid lunch, yeah. All right, buddy. Well, thank you so much, and we'll be in touch, okay?
Definitely, man.
Bye. All right, buddy. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to that brilliant conversation with the wonderful and versatile first vampire of metal, James Rivera. Shame that there's no video attached to it because it was very choppy, as you know, and I only got video sort of like into the second half. In fact, the second half of the show is where I had the video, as you could probably tell. So I thought I'd just put out the audio print for this, and next time I get him on, we'll get him on with a full video production, so we can actually you can actually see him and chat while I chat with him. Anyway, it was a brilliant experience. I loved every minute of it. I hope you did too. Next week we will be having another creepy themed episode for the spooky season, leading up into a special interview that I've done for Friday the 31st of October for Halloween. I'll be putting 2 episodes out that week. So get yourself ready for it, because I think you're going to enjoy it. I really enjoyed recording it. That's all for me. Keep safe. Keep watching those horror movies. And remember, keep telling yourself, it's only a movie. It's only a movie. Bye.
Attention party people, you're officially invited to the Party Shop at Michael's, where you'll find hundreds of new items starting at 99 cents with an expanded selection of party wear, balloons with helium included on select styles, decorations, and more. Michael's is your one-stop shop for celebrating everything from birthdays to bachelorette parties and baby showers to golden anniversaries. Visit Michael's in-store or michaels.com today to supply your next party.